Welcome YouTube, Bobby G here. Emergency happening right behind me. The tank is all of a sudden leaking. I'm not sure why, but thought I'd throw the camera on while I'm in rescue mode. I've got a hose draining it into a 75-gallon tank out in the other room, and we'll see where this goes. Not really sure what happened. I did just reseal this aquarium, but I had it set up out in the garage for about a week, and it seemed fine. I'm not really sure what's leaking right now, but I intend to find out. You can see the water pouring down here. It's a pretty fast leak. Just as well I caught this when I did. That's about $350 worth of breeding stock in here. Both regular fluorescent and albinos. Not really what I planned on doing just now. But really glad, if it did have to happen, that I was actually sitting in the fish room. I mean, really, the tiny bit I'm able to sop up with this towel, probably pointless. I should just go get the shop vac.
Where's it leaking from? Oh, it looks like, is it broken? The glass is broken on the bottom. Is that broken the way that
I don't think
there?
so. No, it's just leaking all underneath. Alright, time to scoop the fish out. Alright, we'll scoop them up. You can see there's 2 or 3 inches of water left in there right now. They're all in the pail. We'll get them over in the other tank, and I'll show you a top-down view of this tank. Water leaking all underneath. Obviously still not sure where it's coming from. Alright, here they are. There's quite a few in there. There's about 30 fish in there, so we'll get them in the other tank. That's the water that I pumped in from the 65-gallon. This is a 72-gallon bow front. So from here I'll just get the heater and an air pump. There's already a power head in there, so we'll get these guys happy, and then I'll carry on with the other tank. Alright, so here we tank top down. You can, I mean, the water, if I could have got a video top down when it was draining itself, you would have seen that there was a huge stream underneath here, coming basically from, it was seemed all the corners, like I said, I did just recock that, and you know, I'm pretty confident in my caulking ability. So I'm just taking you around so you can, sorry for the camera view, but I mean, you can see all the corners. It's possible that it was the penguin that was leaking. I'm actually hoping that's what it was, because that would mean my aquarium is still good. So I'll continue, I'll drain it right down, and I'll get it moved off the stand, and we'll have a better look at what's going on. I'm not sure, maybe this is when it rains it pours. The next thing that just happened was I've still got my my hose in here from the submersible pump, and got it running over into the fish room. I had just taken the pump out of the aquarium, set it in the pail, and I was working on other stuff right here, and I hear water leaking again. Yes, the water was siphoning out of the new tank into the pail, overflowing onto the floor. So yes, I guess when it rains, it pours. Alright, here I am back a couple days later. I got all the water cleaned up. The carpet's dry. I used my shop vac, as you saw, and I had this fan running on it, so it's really dry right now. Alright, this is about a week later. It's given me time to you know, really decide what happened to this tank, where I went wrong, where it leaked, and what the future holds for this tank. I know at the time I said it would never hold water again in my, you know, for my purpose. After rethinking that, it's a beautiful tank. The glass is in excellent condition, and for the sake of doing another reseal on it, I think it's worth it. I love this size tank, a 65 gallon. I have a plan for it. I know what fish I want to put in it. That'll come in a later video. So let's have a close-up look at the tank, and I'll share my thoughts on what I think went wrong. You know, as you can see, or I think you'll see, that in general, the seal, the caulking, looks good. You know, I took a lot of care in doing this project, and when I do seal tanks, but I'm always learning, and this will be a learning lesson for me. So I'll give you a bit of an inside view again, and you know, I use tape for borders on the upright, on the vertical seams, because I want them to look good. The horizontal seams on the bottom, typically don't use tape because you can't see them anyways afterwards. So it's just not worth taking the time to put the tape on. So I think that really what went wrong here is this tank originally, when I got it, it leaked at the bottom. I mean, the guy that sold it to me told me it had a leak, and I filled it with water. It was leaking at the bottom somewhere. And so when I peeled the caulking out of it, what I found was that there was actually water between the bottom piece of glass and the uprights, especially at the back here. I gave it a lot of time. I felt like it was dry. I gave it quite a few days sitting out in the garage with nothing in it. I felt like it was dry. And then I proceeded to do a final cleanup on the glass and the joints. I used a bit of glass cleaner, similar to Windex, and I proceeded to then use acetone in the corners, or in all the seams, and I proceeded to put the caulking on. Now I think if we look a bit closer down here, I think you can see there, right there, there's a bit of a half moon already out of the caulking. And that shouldn't happen. That just shouldn't happen, especially so soon after a reseal. And so this means to me, for some reason, that whole bead of caulking is probably not well adhered to the aquarium. So part of the reasons for that could be that there was still moisture between the panes of glass when I sealed it, or the other reason that I've thought of is that I think I waited 1 or 2 days after I resealed it, after I put the caulking in, to fill it with water. And I really think that was too soon. I've since done some resealing on tanks, and I find that if I wait about 4 days or 5 days, then the caulking actually feels firm. At 1 or 2 days, it's still very soft. So that was, that's something for me to learn too. Anyways, those are my thoughts on what went wrong with this tank. Well, thanks for stopping by today. I hope that that you've learned something from this video, and in your comments, I expect I will learn something. If you're not already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Pretty sure it's down here. And that will help grow my channel so that I can help more people. That's my goal.